Trudeau moves ahead with WEF's plan to abolish farms in Canada by 2030. Young global leader Justin Trudeau announced plans to move ahead with the WEF's plan to abolish farms in Canada, of course, by the year 2030, following a meeting of federal and provincial officials on Friday. The Alberta and Saskatchewan ministers of agriculture expressed profound disappointment, quote unquote, over Trudeau's decision to attempt to reduce nitrogen emissions from fertilizers in the name of fighting climate change. Well, if you close down the farms, how are people supposed to eat? Where is the food supply going to come from? I guess we're going to have to live on air and rain. Now, we're really concerned with this arbitrary goal, Saskatchewan Minister of Agriculture David Martin said. He said the Trudeau government has apparently moved on from their attack on the oil and gas industry and set their sights on Saskatchewan farmers. This has been the most expensive crop anyone has put in following a very difficult year on the prairies. Alberta Minister of Agriculture Nate Horner declared, "This world is looking for Canada to increase production and be a solution to global food shortages. The federal government needs to display that they understand this. They owe it to our producers," he said. InfoWars reports Ontario's Lisa Thompson said after the meeting, provinces were disappointed by the lack of flexibility and consultation regarding the federal target, end quote. But some Canadian officials insist farmers will embrace the climate change policy. The Toronto Sun reports Federal Minister Marie-Claude Bibeau called the government's target ambitious but claims it's one that farmers will embrace. How are they going to embrace this if they're going to close down the farm to abolish farms? And Bibeau said, "I'm meeting with many farmers in the field. I know how much they care for the environment and how much they invest in new practices and new technologies to reduce their emissions as much as possible. The idea is to produce the most sustainable food in the world." Farm groups like Western Canadian wheat growers have said the federal plan will reduce crop output, reduce income from farm families, and increase food prices in Canadian grocery stores, obviously. Now, the Canadian government is planning to implement a 30% reduction in nitrogen emissions by 2030. It's the same proposal as the Dutch government that has resulted in ongoing mass protests by Dutch farmers. In response, the Canadian farmers are beginning to mobilize to support Dutch farmers and protests of Canada's upcoming Great Reset scheme. Now, if the Dutch farmers' protest is in any indication, the massive resistance brewing in Canada should yield a similar show of defiance against the globalist captured Canadian government. This is by Sean Altabita by News Punch. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.